What is Agrozzel all about? Agrozzel is the vision to become the foremost global authority of premium Nigerian mushroom products and services. And we cannot just do this with the Agrozzel, the core Agrozzel team. We want to work with other persons related to the mushroom value chain here in Nigeria to project a global product, a global brand that can represent what we really do here in the mushroom sector in Nigeria. And that is why Agrozzel has different arms. We have the community. In the community, we have different farmers coming together and exchanging ideas. So on Sundays we meet and we discuss virtually about things related to mushrooms, and we get to interview different caliber of individuals as it relates to mushrooms. Then aside the community, we have a shop itself where we supply, we kind of become the connector between the farmer and the buyer. We are like an aggregator where we supply mushroom, to an extent, dried mushrooms. So we supply dried mushrooms to persons that are interested in it, and it has been a fantastic journey. Then we also provide trainings. I've trained over 200 persons as regards mushroom cultivation, and a lot of them are doing exceedingly well. So we try to provide premium training that can really help one kickstart their mushroom journey without missing it when it comes to mushroom cultivation. So we train them how to cultivate mushrooms and what they need to know about mushrooms aside cultivation, and we also train them on the business of mushrooms, specifically here in Nigeria. Then as those are like some of the things we do, then we also do promotions using social media as a tool to help farmers promote their business, because a lot of farmers have product, but one of the barriers is communicating using the digital space. So we have taken off that burden from them by being that communicator through the use of digital marketing for them. Now my interests, so my interest in mushrooms started in 2015, where I studied botany and I was posted to something related to mushrooms, and I was introduced to Professor Okoya, who is a professor of mycology at the University of Benin. And that was when my interest, it started growing, and it has been an interesting journey. I started learning so many things about mushrooms. I was really fascinated about it. I kept asking questions. Even at the point, I just had to visit Yabatech to meet with Professor Fodili to still ask more questions about what mushrooms, what are these things, what do they really do, and all that. And over the years, from 2015 till now, I've worked with several mushroom related sectors. I've worked with Micro Farms mushrooms, I've worked with LTC mushrooms, I've worked with Life Plus, I've worked with National Mushroom Growers, Processors and Marketers Association of Nigeria. In fact, I was given an award as a young mushroom founder, and so many other businesses. Some would know the engagement is purely private and some is public, but I can't just mention all from the top of my head. Okay, so when it comes to what I believe is the major challenge when it comes to mushrooms in Nigeria, I think the major challenge is the market. We have a lot of persons that have gone into mushroom cultivation and they kind of backed out because they feel they tried it, they were successful at cultivation, but they were not as successful when it comes to the business, because mushroom is a new market. The regular farmer just cultivates and someone just comes to clear off their farm and pay them. But for mushrooms, you can't do that. You have to cultivate, you have to push the business, which is not the usual status quo for a regular farmer. So I think it's the market that is one of the major problems farmers experience when it comes to mushrooms, and that is why Agrozzel is there. We're really working hard behind the scenes to see how can we penetrate, push. We don't want farmers to be thinking of how to sell their products. We just want them to produce and take it off from them and disseminate it into the local and the global markets. There are several mushrooms cultivated here in Nigeria. We have oyster, milky, Volvarella, Ganoderma, and the rest. But I think the one that stands out, the one that is most cultivated, the one that has the highest market demand is oyster mushrooms. So most times when you hear mushrooms in Nigeria, when it comes to cultivation, it's synonymous with oyster mushrooms most times. So yes, there are different mushrooms cultivated in Nigeria. There are different mushrooms that can still be cultivated in Nigeria, but the bulk of the mushrooms that you find currently here in Nigeria is oyster mushrooms. I think one of the reasons, aside the market demand and how easy it is to grow, is because the mushroom itself is not so selective when it comes to the type of substrates that it can grow on. So it's very friendly and it makes it easier for the farmer to just handle it. Okay, the major challenge that I'm currently experiencing at Agrozzel, from the top of my head, I can't figure out any. We are just starting, so we're trying our hands on different approaches, and maybe over time, when we see the lights properly, then we can start saying, oh, this could be the barrier and this could be the challenge. But for now, we're just testing. The community has about over 300 farmers, and they are really active. They are really serious. They are pushing really hard. They are pushing the mushroom commodity really hard, and I'm really impressed by what they are doing. Different farmers from across Nigeria, and it's a beautiful thing to watch. It's a beautiful thing to lead, and I'm super grateful for that. My advice for someone that is considering doing mushrooms, I think the major advice most times I give is that get proper training. Get proper training, because when you don't, the frustration starts too early. So ensure that the person training you is grounded as regards mushroom cultivation. Then 2 would be, know that you are going to need to push in terms of marketing. You're going to push your products because it is an emerging product. So you're going to need to push. And finally, you are going to need to start small and grow gradually. Don't be in a hurry to just grow so fast. Learn, understand cultivation before you start pushing the business, and pushing it gradually. And I'm actually wishing you all the best, because yes, there is money in mushroom cultivation. There's money in mushroom business.